Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Stevie.
Hi.
Steve, I'm gonna ask anyway, but that hi kind of tells me. How was your week?
Oh, not great. The past few weeks haven't been awesome. You know?
What's wrong?
This is weird. I'm sorry to our listeners. I'm just we were talking before we started recording, so we decided that I would talk about this. But I've just been kind of struggling. Nothing crazy, but very normal things for someone who's 22 years old. I'm just having a tough time kind of figuring out my next step in life as far as just job stuff. I'm about to graduate and I just don't really know what I'm going to be doing in weeks from now, and that's so scary. That's never been there's obviously prospects, there's options, but nothing is set in stone, and everything, stuff just takes time, and I just feel so unprepared, and I don't know if I'm going to be, I think I'm moving soon, and so that is messing with me, and I've always been someone who's had a plan, known exactly what I'm going to do. Once I move here, I'll do this. Once I'm out of this school, I'll do that. I've never been in this situation.
You also haven't, it's been going to school.
Right.
So, and now you're into a different, and I think a lot of people deal with this, not even just being 22, just anytime they change careers or decide to change careers or jobs or anything. My dad did this. He was stressed about it he gets stressed about everything, but he was stressed about it a couple of years ago when he changed what he was doing. And it's just, I think that's a normal thing for people. I don't think it's anything. I get why you're.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be.
It's not invalid.
It's not invalid. I'm not trying to say that to you, but I don't. And I think a lot of people deal with that too.
Yeah, and I know that, and that's kind of why I do want to. I like talking about this because if anyone else is struggling, or if anyone else is kind of oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm going through this, which is causing this to change, and I don't know what that means for my future, you're not alone, because so am I. And it's just, I don't know, it's growing up, I would get a lot of anxiety if stuff was changing, and stuff was changing a lot for me as a kid. And so probably for the past 10 years, I'd say since middle school, when things kind of slowed down changing wise, I always wanted to I was a control freak because I didn't want to have outside forces depict my life and be able to change it. But the thing is, you can plan a picnic, but you can't predict the weather,
Yeah.
You can't truly say, there's not a plan out there. You can make a plan in your head. That doesn't exist in, the universe, And so, and maybe I think it's good for me to realize that,
Things are going to happen.
yeah, and you really, really can. You can only plan so much. And it's some days you just have to let the universe take its course, and things will come and go, and it'll all work out in the end. I know that. That is not a foreign concept. And I also know this isn't a unique feeling to me. This happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, I know it's going to be fine, but just...
It's got you a little stressed.
I'm really stressed, yeah. And I just am lots of... things that I felt as a kid, I'm feeling again, and I don't like it.
You don't like that?
No. I just need to
that's
out of this chapter of my life.
Yeah. I get that.
But you can't rush it.
I'm gonna tell you it's gonna happen again.
For absolutely.
It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Several more times over the course of your life, even if you don't make any huge. That was a weird noise that I just came out of my body. But anyway, even if
early,
you
we're recording.
Don't make,
we just woke up.
Don't make any huge changes. Even I've changed jobs at the station a couple times, and it's kind of daunting whenever you do that. I'm not one that gets overly stressed or freaked out about things, but even still, I had a couple times where it's oh, I don't know how I'm going to do at this. Is this am I going to do well? Am I going to fail at this? Nobody wants to fail or anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not saying that you will. You're going to do great, but
that's a very relatable feeling.
It's what everybody feels, I think. Unless you have like unimaginable confidence in everything that you
Right.
do, which a lot of times you end up failing even harder than others because you don't see your blind spots.
Right.
But I think everybody deals with things like that. So I don't think it's...
When you first started working, like, the night shifts,
I've always worked the night shifts there.
but I just mean in your life.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess when you start working at the station then. At one point did you decide, well, I'm going to get another job that I can work? Like, after.
I actually had another job first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that...
I was working at Pier 1 before that.
Oh.
I started at Pier 1 a couple months before.
Okay.
And I just stayed with both of them. And luckily, the jobs that I've had
have made it work.
Have been able to make it work. Yeah. And working overnights, most people aren't awake from 11, or most businesses and people aren't awake from 11 to 7, so
right, so that
doesn't really affect anything. It's more of what time can I work to where I can still sleep and
right.
actually function as a human and not die.
Yeah, exactly. But were there times starting the news station job where you were like, this is gonna really be an adjustment, I don't know about it? Like, what made you want to say, I'm gonna work from 11 to 7?
Well, I started originally as like a part-timer because I was still in college. Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't at the time come in until 4 a.m., 3:30 to 4 a.m. So it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
And then it slowly got earlier because I took on a different job, which had me come in at like 2 a.m. And then I took on a different job, which had me come in now at 11 o'clock at night. So it just kind of changed.
Sorry, I just really had a big yawn. I'm not bored. Yeah. I'm just...
No, I know.
Didn't go to bed early last night.
I get it. Yeah, she's just yawning massively as I'm telling the story.
I'm so sorry. That's so rude.
It's fine. I get it. It's 6:25 in the morning. But yeah, it just was what it was. Like, right. It didn't really. It was a job, so it didn't really matter what time it was. I was gonna go.
Right, but I just mean like adjusting to that. So I guess because it was throughout different, it didn't start at 11.
Yeah, it didn't just start with like, okay, here's exactly. Like bam.
You were just kind of like, this is how it is.
Yeah, it just kind of adjusted to that. So I kind of got weaned into it a little bit. You just make adjustments and do what you need to do.
So was it ever scary?
No, I don't think so. Not at the start. I mean, there was times where I was worried about how I was going to do with different positions.
Yeah, okay.
But at the start, it was like I said, a part-time position. It was super simple, easy things to do.
Gotcha.
But moving up, yeah, of course, there was different things that you learn to do, and you slowly get better and better at them, and you wonder what you can do. But
right,
I'm very much a jump in and let's do this type person. So
that's good. That's always been another thing I have also struggled with.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you get so good at one thing, and then you are like, that must be it. I was so good at that, and now there's this new challenge in front of me. I'll never be as good at this as I was at this, but that's just also not true.
Yeah. You don't ever know. It's kind of, I equate it to, it's kind of along the same lines. I told this to somebody at the bank just yesterday, and I used to tell it to Nick all the time.
Oh.
It's like you don't know what you're going to like or what you're going to be good at until you try it.
Yeah, this is true.
This is what I always told Nick with food, because he doesn't eat a damn thing.
Shout out to Nick. He's been on the pod, friend of the pod.
Yes. Kid doesn't eat anything but macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets, basically.
Yeah, grilled cheese. Loves grilled cheese.
And that's what you don't know what you're going to like or what you're going to be good at until you actually give it a shot.
Right.
And failure is going to happen.
Yeah.
And when you fail, you learn from it. And
Ew.
that's
It's so true, and I hate it. And I hate every bit of that.
yeah.
I hate that I have to fail in
I
life.
mean, but it's a growing pain. It's good for you, I think. Like, I don't think. I mean, you don't want to fail at the same thing every single, forever, because then you're
Right.
just. You probably need to change what you're doing if you
Yeah.
can't figure it out. But
Oh, yeah.
as far as like, I mean, if
No.
you can learn from it, that's the whole
Absolutely.
point. Yeah.
That's a really good point. And I've been trying to embrace the concept of like whatever you believe in, whether that's God, a God, the universe, if you fail at something or if you don't get an opportunity you really wanted, sometimes that's the world's way or God's way of showing you that that wasn't yours to have. You know what I mean? Like that isn't for you, and it's good that you didn't get that opportunity. And that's what I'm trying to embrace right now, because there are things that I've thought I've wanted, and then a week later something happens and something changes, and a lot of things are changing for me right now. And okay, good thing I didn't get that, because that wouldn't have worked out because of this and this thing that happened. So that that's another thing that's new to me. Thinking the amount of change that happens to me at this time in my life is like a little out of control. I just feel like there's just new factors, right, all the time that change my mind. And because of that, this is a new, that's contributing to these new feelings that I'm like, well, okay, I just need to like slow down. You know the song Vienna by Billy Joel? Like, Vienna waits for you. Oh, it's going to be really awkward if you don't.
I'm sure I've heard it, but I can't think of it off the top
That's
of my head.
been, like, my anthem.
Okay.
It's just about, like, chill out. Like, you crazy child.
Well,
the world's, like, nothing's running from you, Like, you don't have to, what's the hurry, basically?
Yeah. No, I get that. I do think, though, it is a little, like, you're 22 years old. Like,
and to me, that feels like, oh, I should have everything figured out.
But the thing is it's
funny.
This is the first time you're not going to be in school, Steve.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Except for when you were an infant and before you started kindergarten. Like, this is when you actually start being a, like, full-fledged adult. Like, you have to work 40 hours a week. Yeah, don't... the vomiting face out of him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's what it is. Like, and that's a big change, because you've always been, okay, go to school. Okay, I need to do my homework. Okay, I mean, in the last few years when college, you had a job on the side of that.
Only had a part-time job ever.
So it's, this is a pretty big change in what your life is. Like,
I agree.
This and like retirement are about the same level. Like, you're making a massive change in what you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think.
So all the feelings are valid. It's all normal, and I know that all.
But you're still stressed. I know.
Yeah. I just honestly though, this makes me feel better. I've always found it very therapeutic to like
talk it out.
Not even that, but like to many public, like putting it on here, I'm like, this is very me, just being able to like put my thoughts out there, because I just know if someone else out there has ever felt this way, then maybe this will make them feel better, and that makes me feel better.
Well, that's good.
As if I say that as if we've got like millions of listeners, but the 60 people that listen every week.
60? I think you're a little high on that, Steve.
Okay, the 30 to 60 people that listen every week. This is for you guys, if you've ever felt this way.
Or anybody else that comes in. Anybody else that listens in the future.
Listens, yes, decides
Hello from the past.
Pick up on this episode one day. But that's all the sad. That's enough sad for one episode. It's not even sad. It's just not as upbeat as we normally are. But it's good sometimes to switch it up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we talk about everything, so
it's true. It is so true.
We like to have fun, or
yeah,
cry together, I guess.
You never know.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. So now we know I'm probably gonna like be listening to Taylor Swift later to get all my emotions out.
Oh yeah.
But okay.
Yes. Okay.
Enough of that.
Okay.
This reminded me when you were talking about the news. How does it hail in July? How does that happen? Do you know?
What do you mean?
It hailed yesterday.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just a storm.
In July? Does that happen normally? Is that a dumb question
it happens.
for me to ask?
It happens. The heat. So when you have, I'm not a meteorologist.
No,
Steve,
I know.
I can
just
kind
give
of
me like the literally most dumbed down answer
So-
you can think of.
It's basically when like the atmosphere is unstable, which is like a lot of things going on. Mm-hmm. The extreme, like the super high heat, can cause a storm. Hail is just ice that forms in the sky and then falls. Like, it gets heavy enough to fall, just like rain, but it freezes before it makes it to the ground. That's it.
Okay. I guess maybe I've never paid attention to it. I didn't know it could hail. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, hail is like snow. Like,
it can hail any time of year.
It only come when it's like wintertime. So
no, because but if you say that, but snowfalls, snow does usually only come in the winter.
Yeah.
That's because it has to be a certain temperature towards the ground. Hail forms higher than that, which is going to be colder because, it's warmer on the ground and it gets colder as you go up usually. So it's just different. Like, you can have hail anytime, really.
Oh, okay. Fun facts. I feel like I always have questions that I just am like, that's a Kev question. Like, he can explain that to me. Because
well, I don't. I mean, I'm not entirely probably accurate on some of that stuff.
But still,
we have a meteorologist on. He can tell you. I know a few of them.
We could have one on, and it would be so boring for everyone else because I would be asking the most insane, dumb questions that anyone would ever ask.
I mean, in the nice thing about like in TV is they're kind of taught to tell you, like, explain it to you like you're 5 years old. Like, that's the whole point, is so that everybody easily understands what's going on.
If they were actually talking like a meteorologist would speak to another meteorologist all the time,
you'd have no idea.
This might as well be in a different language. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but hail, it's just what happens. Like, it's just more of it usually happens in a severe storm. You don't get hail unless it's a pretty strong storm.
It was really strong. Last night was the weirdest thing. I went and got dinner with our friends Nikki and her husband Casey, and literally Nikki was like, "Oh, we're on storm watch because we were gonna sit outside somewhere." She was like, "So we should probably sit inside," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that works." And didn't even think of like when the storm was gonna come. We're all the way down the highway. We get on Grindstone and probably it's like, it looks like it's flooding. It's raining so hard. And like we can't see in front of us.
There was flooding, yeah.
It was insane. Yeah. Hail. And they just, these poor lovely people just had hail damage on their last car. And this was a brand new car that they were driving us in, Casey's new car. And Nikki was like, we just had an issue with hail. Like, maybe we shouldn't be going. Like, this doesn't feel pretty good. But then like 5 minutes later, maybe not 5 minutes, but it slowed down a little bit. We got to the restaurant, and then the rest of the night it was like it ended pretty quickly. Yeah. So
usually the storms. Most of the time they don't last a super long time. So like that type of storm doesn't.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go?
Casa Maria's.
Oh, okay. Mexican. I don't think I've ever been there.
It was pretty good.
Nice. Anyway. It's just a storm.
Okay. I have another question that I've been thinking of. I've had this question for a long time. And if you can answer it, maybe someone who's listening can like text me and let me know because I don't get it and it makes me laugh every time I hear it. When someone tells you like two scenarios or two options, they're like, would you prefer this or this? And if they're choosing the second option, people say the latter. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why? How does that make any sense?
Oh, I don't know.
But, okay. So
I mean, I could look up the etymology, but I don't know.
I think I've heard it fairly recently, like within the past like 6 months, and now I just feel like I hear it literally every day. And every time I hear it, I'm like,
do you get confused by the former? The use of the former? Like, the former is the first one, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I definitely would. So it's goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
Basically, is what you're saying. Okay, see, I never heard of that before. Have you heard people say the former? That seems just so...
I don't feel like I hear that one as much as I do the ladder.
So they're not saying ladder as in like the thing you use to like step on.
Mm-mm.
They're saying like the later option.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I totally could look that up, but I thought it's more fun to do it like this.
I mean, yeah.
Do you use that term? Do you say
not really? No.
I feel like it's a little, I don't know. Whenever I hear it, I'm just like, you really feel the need to, like, not like you can't just say the second one, or you can't just say that. I don't know. It just seems very like.
But if you just say that, it could be. If you just say that, it could be. Or no, either one of them.
When I say, you can't just say whatever the second option is. Like blank. The second option. I don't know.
I mean, it's just different. It's just different people's vocabularies.
No, it just seems like a little fancy.
Everybody Everybody speaks a little differently. Everybody uses different words.
Yeah.
And it's, just the...
Okay, I'm going to try to use it so that I can be a fancy person that says the ladder. The ladder.
Yeah, that's...
So stupid. Me, not the saying. I'm stupid. Calling myself stupid.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's... Yeah, so... I don't know. Did anything else going on, Steve? Any other questions?
Actually.
I think I might have opened up a Pandora's box.
No, this is the last thing I've been thinking of. Well, I'll write down questions that I have for you and I save them, but then sometimes our conversations don't go in a direction that makes sense for me to ask them on the podcast. So I've just got a few saved. So after this, we're really gonna have. I might need a break because I'm not gonna have any.
You're gonna have any more questions?
But this was not a debate, but a discussion that me and Will were having recently.
Yeah.
If you're going on a vacation, and let's not put. Well, I guess you can put Disney in this category, but it's are you someone that is a vacationer, or are you traveling and getting experiences and every day we're doing this, or are you this is a vacation, I'm not doing anything?
No, I'm a very much go do stuff person.
Same. I think, I don't know. I think I'm both. I think I need one day to be we shouldn't plan a thing except maybe meals,
Oh, well, I think, I just consider that a break day in the middle of my travel.
Right, exactly. So same, I guess.
Because it's if you don't take a break, you're gonna I took a couple break days when I was at Disney because you're walking 10 miles a day, so you don't if you don't take a break to let your body recuperate, you're gonna fall over, pass out or something.
There you go.
So I'm a very much we're gonna do as much as possible while I'm here because I don't know if I'm ever gonna be back or when I will be back.
Yes. Same way.
I don't want to go, I know a lot of people like to just go, they'll just go for a 5-day vacation, just sit on the beach all the whole time. I can't, there's so much to do. I've never been here. I haven't been here in a long time. I want to go see what there is to do. I want to go do different things.
Yeah. Not even that, but this might be a controversial opinion. The beach is overrated. There's a lot of it that does kind of suck.
I mean, I like the beach.
I like a beach. I love looking at a beach and walking on a beach. But if you're going to lay out all day, the salt water hurts my skin and eyes after a while. There gets sand everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's just you have to the sand gets so hot, and then it's you're so tired after you've been there all day and you lug everything back to your car. There's parts about going to the beach that aren't almost sometimes worth it to me. But nothing wrong with the beach itself. Yeah. Oh my gosh, a morning walk on the beach, love that.
Yeah.
A beach is beautiful, but the process of going to the beach all day and then we had, now you're all gross and sweaty and now maybe sunburnt and you have to pack all your stuff up and walk.
See, but usually I'm not sunburnt, yeah, but usually I'm not, I guess, super sweaty or things like that because I'm usually swimming. I'm usually in the water. Yeah. I'm not one to just sit on the beach.
See, I like to bask.
I don't want to do that. I might sit on the beach for, 30 minutes or an hour, or I might go in the water, come back, sit on the beach for a little bit, go back in the water. But I'm very much into swimming. I'd like to swim out as far as I can and see all the animals and fishes and and things that are down there.
Ooh.
So that kind of stuff. Swim down as far as like down underwater as far as I can too. See how far I
Yeah.
can go.
No,
Get.
that's true. The water is better than the sand part of the beach,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Even though I've said on here that I'm terrified of the ocean, which I kind of am, but the beach is not the ocean. That's not the part that's scary. So I
No,
would
because you
agree
can
with
just sit
you
on
there.
the beach. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and like
sand.
or even just the ocean that you're not,
Oh, you're talking like even going into the water right there.
right. Like
It's
that's not
okay.
the scary part. That's not what I'm scared of. I'm scared of like the deep,
Yeah.
deep, deep ocean.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
So yeah, I feel the same way. But I would say like I usually go places. I don't the last time I went to like I don't know if I were to pick a vacation now, if I would just pick somewhere that's like, oh, I want to go to the beach, so let's just go to Florida or let's go to a resort or something. Like I think I would pick somewhere based on like what there is to do.
yeah.
That's like when I went to Maine. I wasn't going to Maine to sit around in a somewhere. Like I was
Yeah.
going there to like I knew we'd probably hike a little. We'd probably go see stuff.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, I don't know if I'd pick somewhere just to go to the beach.
Yeah, I'm not. I usually pick places based on what I want to do. If there's a beach nearby, I might go to the beach. Usually the only time that I go to the beach though is if I'm like on a cruise or something where I might have a day at the beach in some place, but usually
Yeah.
even that I'm going to see the different stuff on the islands or whatever or wherever you're at.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go on a cruise so bad.
I like cruises. I know a lot of people just despise the thought of a cruise.
Once again, I am contradicting myself again because that does the concept of a cruise actually really freaks me out. But I feel like I wouldn't be thinking about that
Why does the
because it's
concept
so
of a cruise freak you out?
being in the middle of the ocean, and if something
You're
were to
really
happen,
not like
yeah, I'm
ever in
sure
the
I'm
middle of the
yeah,
ocean.
and I'm sure I wouldn't being there on the cruise ship. I wouldn't be thinking about it.
No, because you're in like a city.
Exactly.
Like they have everything
Exactly.
for the most part. I guess there are a couple cruises where you're out in the middle of the ocean because there's a couple of like transatlantic and transpacific cruises where you cruise like from the U.S. to Asia or from the U.S. to Europe, but those don't happen very often. So
Yeah.
usually you're relatively close to some island or something somewhere
Okay, that's good to know.
because you stop at a lot of them. So you know,
I like my next vacation and if I can pick it, I really want to go to anything that's like an all-inclusive thing. I want to go somewhere where it's just like
an all-inclusive resort or a cruise.
yeah,
Okay.
anything like that, or I can just if I want dinner, okay, great, don't worry about it. It's included. Drinks are included. Everything's included. That
So,
just seems like too
Usually
good to
drinks
be
are not
true.
included.
But sometimes they are. I know
Sometimes.
on cruises maybe not. I don't know much about cruises.
Usually
truly.
drinks are not included. You have to either pay for them individually or buy a drinks package, which you can do, and then they're
I'm
they're
buying a drinks
included.
package for sure. If that exists, yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
That's part of it though. Like I would spend that
Yeah.
money. Like I'm talking as all inclusive as
Yeah,
they
I
can
get that.
get.
I get that. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's nice to have to like pay for everything ahead of time, and then you don't really have
Subscribe.
to worry about it very
Now
much.
that is a vacation.
Yeah.
Financial vacation.
Well, you just pay for it over time beforehand. You're still paying for
I
it.
know,
It's
but
just different.
every vacation I've been on, I'm always like, oh, I'm spending too much money on this vacation. This
Yeah.
is going to be terrible when I get home, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm over that feeling before I even go,
Yeah.
then I'm good.
Then you're good. It's an entirely different feeling. Okay. Well,
Exactly.
that works. Okay. Yeah. I'm very much let's do as much as we can while we're here cuz I want to see everything.
Yes. I am too.
But I'm also like, do you like museums and things? Cuz I
Yeah.
love going to museums and different things like that.
More art than well, yeah, more I would prefer to see art rather than like a history museum, but
Okay.
I do like museums. I like an activity. I love an activity.
What is it about a history museum that you prefer less than an art museum?
I just like I mean, honestly they kind of go hand in hand at times cuz art
Really,
is
a lot of art is
history,
history, but yeah.
but that just sounds more fun.
Okay.
I'm more interested in like going to a place to see art than being like, here's the history of this rock, or this thing, this sword or whatever.
I think a lot of times history is more interesting because you're getting, depending on where you're going to see the history, but a lot of times it's just like, it's a lot like an art museum. There's a lot of pieces that you're looking at. It's like, this was this, or this, like the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and this is the first thing that came to mind, has the hat that Lincoln was wearing whenever he was shot that still has a bullet hole in it.
Cool,
like, that kind of stuff is what you find in a history museum, whereas art, I do love going to an art museum.
I honestly like both. I like activities where you can just go somewhere and be there for a long time, and you're going there not to take anything, not to like buy stuff, not like you're going there just to see stuff.
Yeah,
that's
to experience what it. Yeah.
Same with like aquariums. Like that's a fun activity.
I do love an aquarium.
I love an aquarium and zoos, and I feel bad because I know like they're not good for all the animals, but I'm sorry, animals. It's just cool. It's just fun and neat.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, yeah. I'm the same way, but you know what that sound means, Steve.
Time to talk about the movie.
Yeah, which was really long.
OMG. That's the first thing I put. I actually took notes this time.
I wrote, so I write. I don't know why I said right, but I knew it was a long movie. Like, I knew Gone with the Wind. I was like, I remember this. Like, I remember the fact that this was a long movie, and I pulled it up. I looked it up on Google, and it's like 200 and something. And I'm like, it's almost 4 hours long. It's almost 4 hours long. Like,
and it's so funny because at the end,
such a long movie
of last week's episode, there was a movie on here. Like, I don't know if it was a silent film. It was like it
was a silent film, but it's like 3 hours.
And long. I was like, no, I can't. and then we chose Gone with the Wind.
Picked probably the longest movie on the
You're right. I did pick it. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I did not realize it was good. Like I said, I knew it was a long movie. I remember hearing that it was a long movie. I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be like, it's from the 30s. It's probably gonna be like 2.5 to 3 hours long. And because it's from the 30s, it'll probably feel longer than a movie nowadays because it's made differently. It's a little bit different.
It took me a week.
It was. Oh, I did it in one sitting.
That takes some self-control.
I don't like pausing movies.
We've talked about. I just have my ADHD brain, my generation. I don't think any of us can look at one thing for that long. Like, I genuinely think it's just.
I don't know. I don't like pausing movies. I can't bring myself to do it. So that's just a me thing.
Yeah. I get that part. Like, if I'm watching it with someone, I'm not going to be like, oh, pause it. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to like. You're
just going to suffer?
Yeah, I'll just suffer through. But when it's just on, like, and I was watching on my phone, I think that's what it was too. So I kept like, because I would like watch it at the gym. Like, I tried to watch some of it at the gym on the treadmill, and like I did that a lot this week.
I don't understand everybody watching.
I don't always do that.
No, I understand this. But I don't get it. Like,
what?
You have a television that is made for this, that is big. Like, I know the phones are made for it too, but it's like, I don't want to sit and watch everything on this little tiny screen.
I know why. Because if I put that on my TV, guess what I'm doing? Getting right on my phone. And I'm not going to pay attention.
I don't do that. Yeah, I guess I don't do that.
I'm not proud of it. I wish I didn't do it this way.
I know a lot of people though that do multiple, like either have their computer out or their phone out, or it's usually a phone when they're watching TV. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't understand. I guess I grew up.
I just get bored
before like the smartphone was a thing. So
I mean, yeah. As a kid, I would sit and watch movies all the time, but. I don't know, and there's many factors that go into it. I just I can't really sit for that long either. Like, I'm usually watching it and I like
I was
get up and go clean something or get up and do a little laundry or.
I mean, I was up moving around. I was doing laundry and you know, loading the dishwasher and things like that while it was going on too. But you know, so I was moving around.
Yeah.
But what'd you think?
Scarlett is that girl. Everyone wanted to be her man, you know, in the beginning. Like, they all loved her. And I was like, Scarlett's got it going on. She's the it girl. It was a bit... I mean, I know it was an old movie.
Yeah.
It was a bit incestual. There was a lot of, like...
Cousins.
And... Well, if I can't have you, then I'll just go date your cousin. And then, like, it was a little incestual for me personally. Okay. But that was, like... I understand it was...
I mean, it's set in the Civil War,
yes.
So, I mean...
And how would you... Honestly, it probably happened a lot back then.
Oh,
how would you know?
Some now, but...
Sure.
I don't... Yeah, I get that. I did... I felt weird about Scarlett.
Oh, she was...
It was very,
she was an odd girly.
Her character was... in some parts a strong woman. Mm-hmm. And in some parts... I need a man woman. Like, both sides, which was weird to me.
Yeah, she was a very, like...
She was a very conflicted... She very much conflicted herself in a lot of things.
Yes, that's true. And, like, towards the end, especially, she was, like, more... It seemed like she was very emotional that when she didn't have a man. She would, like... It was a big, big deal. It would create many issues. And then I just have on here almost 4 hours. We need to look up time before picking.
Well, we talked about this already. How long is you
want to
watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Yeah. How long is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
This must be somewhat normal. Because I've seen it and I don't remember thinking it was crazy long.
Okay, because 4 hours is a long freaking movie, Steve.
It's insane.
Yeah, it was a little much. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, I've seen that one, so that is like, okay, I will put this on my TV, and I'll probably, roam around my apartment.
Do things.
But I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember this part. Oh, I remember this part.
Had you seen Gone with the Wind? Because I had not.
No.
Okay.
You think I would have picked that movie if I had seen it and knowing it was 4 hours?
Maybe you haven't seen it in a long time. Well, you're only 22. Maybe you haven't seen it in a long time and you don't remember. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, sir.
Doesn't Nikki really like Gone with the Wind? I want to say she's mentioned that before, but I have.
That's kind of, it's like.
It's very much
in terms of like aesthetic and the time of.
Yeah.
Where it took place.
But
it's her. That's her upper alley.
I very possibly could be confusing her with somebody else, or just have made that up entirely. I'm sure I'll get a text when she listens to this. Yes. Tell me whether or not I was correct or not. Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Have you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before? No. Okay. Do you know? Did you ever watch the Netflix show Nurse Ratched?
No.
Okay.
Well, I saw it. I remember it being on, but
I
never watched
anymore. But we'll talk about it more next week.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good place to end.
Sorry for being sad earlier.
It was fine.
It's human.
Everybody deals with
it. Exactly.
But I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends, and we'll try to grow the audience here. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.